Hello, good evening. I hope that you all are having a very good Saturday and spending it in such a way, if you're allowed to, if you're off work, to be able to rest and recharge for the upcoming week. And I realize that many people do have to work the weekend. So if you did have to work today, I'm hoping that you had a good day. I spent a good portion of my day at first. I chilled out, had some coffee, watched The Last Kingdom on Netflix with Tim. I'm already on season 5, which is the last season. And if you like Viking shows, you'll really like that show. It's really well done. And then it was earlier on this evening. We went to the melting pot with the kids. We had a coupon from last year where we had donated St. Jude, and in exchange for that, they give you a meal for two people, including a bottle of wine. So tonight we just had to pay for the children and, of course, tip our waitress. So it worked out really well. Hi, Jen. Oh my gosh, you caught me again on the live. I miss you, my friend. I've been seeing the stuff that you've been making online, and as always, it's beautiful. You'll have to tell me how you're doing or shoot me a message, but I do miss you, my friend. So, I'm about to delve into the Hermit, and so this is one of my favorite cards. You know, I'm really big on quiet time and introspection. And, I've always talked about journaling and spending the time reflecting and talking to people that you care about, just to gain a different perspective and insight. And those are very much Hermit vibes. So I'm going to hold this guy up so you can see him. He's such a cute little old man. I love this card so much. So this is the Roman numeral for 9. And you'll see this elderly man. So he's standing on what appears to be very barren ground. It may be covered with snow. So think of what it's like when you're outside and there's nobody outside. You may or may not hear nature, and everything is still and quiet, to kind of get the vibe of where our hermit is standing here. So with this lantern, so by this point, the hermit is synonymous with our fool, which is our seeker. At this point, he's very tired from his journey, exhausted. He has learned an awful lot, but he's needing time to rest and reflect. So this gentleman could be the same individual as our fool, okay? Or it could also be somebody that our fool seeks out just to gain that perspective and insight, like I'd alluded to before, like a good friend or family member. And so the lantern inside is holding the star, which we'll get to that. That's another major arcana card that we will be covering, which is synonymous for hope. And it's also bright like the sun. So when you think of the sun, you think of clarity, illumination, warmth, comfort. Those are the vibes that come from the star that's held within his lantern. And he has went off to himself. Generally, he is pictured on a mountainous region, way high up, off to himself, and he's contemplating. And the time spent contemplating, there's a whole point to it. The point is that he's trying to gain clarity and insight so that he can go, and by he, I mean he or she, can go and help others with this information. He can share it with the world. So it's not only to advance his own journey, but it's the obtaining knowledge so that he can help others, including himself. Because by this point, our fool, which is our seeker, is no longer the novice. We are almost halfway through our journey through the major arcana, so our seeker has grown considerably. And he's holding his little walking stick. And when you think of that, he might need a little extra help to get up that mountain. Hi, Christy. I see you. And Jen, you know I miss you too. Oh, and thank you. I've been enjoying doing these Go Lives because I grow from them too. So we're growing together. Christy, how are you doing? You're gonna have to let me know. So feel free to comment because I am wondering what you're up to. I saw your post, by the way, about you doing various things with your family to conserve funds, and it sounds like you've been busy on top of making jewelry and everything else. But anyhow, sorry, you know I get sidetracked. So this walking stick, yes, it helped him get up the mountainside, but you notice that it's yellow, which is the same color as our star. So this is a tool that he has utilized, which has helped him find his path. It's a way of illuminating it. So it's with using his lantern. In addition to this walking stick, he has made the progression on his journey to where he could reach this place of solitude. And I think that walking stick is really synonymous on the people around us, because whether we like it or not, we need other people in life to get through this journey. What I value in other people are their perspectives, and oftentimes I value that their perspective is different from my own, because a light bulb goes off above my head like, I didn't see it from that perspective. And like a big part of my own personal growth would be Jen, from having coffee with her some time ago. Her and some of my other friends, but especially Jen, would be like, why don't you professionally read tarot? So she's always been my friend and my confidant and a bit of a cheerleader for me. And I wouldn't be where I am today without my good friend. She's a part of the reason why I'm here. And Christy has helped provide so much insight on just my business. And she supported me by getting a reading from me. And I'm here because of her too. So just so you know, like, I value you guys tremendously. And I'm so grateful that I can say you're my friends, So let's see. So with his garment, it's more so gray. And then the sky is like a really pretty, like grayish shade of blue. So he more or less blends into his surroundings. It's not flashy attire. Our hermit is not trying to stand out at all. If anything, he very much wants that solitude. And his head is bowed down, and it looks like his eyes are closed. So he's more or less in what we call a meditative state. So that's why it's so important to find time, even if you don't meditate, but just to sit outside or sit in a room in your house and close your eyes, and you breathe in as deep as you can. You hold it for a couple seconds. You breathe out. You do this for as long as you can, and maybe open up your eyes every so often. And just the way you feel from that simple action, it's just so calming. So I would recommend that. I do work on that. I'm not the strongest meditator, but it's something I continuously work on because there's value in it. And so that, in a nutshell, is our Hermit card. And I'm going to look at my little notes that I wrote down to go over with you guys. So basically with our lantern, we had mentioned he's looking for insight and truth. And one more thing, I'm glad I wrote it down so I would remember to go into it. So it's really important to remember that no matter how far we, which we are the fool, we're the seekers, progress on our journey, we will also always be the student as well. The master will never master every single thing and then not have a need to learn. Our whole lives, we will have to backtrack and have that introspection and learn from others. This hermit can be other people we encounter in our lives to provide insight like I was talking about. So I really like that. It's really humble. It's a really beautiful card. Let's see here. So I'm going to show you guys a couple extra little cards like I normally do. So here's one. And this beautiful lady, it looks like she's sitting there in her pajamas, which I don't blame her. Those are very comfortable. You want to be in a comfortable garment when you're resting and meditating, all that good stuff. And then she's seeking that enlightenment. And you see that yellow that's coming out from around her? That's showing that she's getting that enlightenment, that clarity. And around her is that starry night. It's so beautiful and so calm. And see, you remember how I mentioned how the hermit is on top of this mountainside at the very top and by themselves? And it's like they're looking down, like at a town or whatever, but they're kind of up above to where they're separate, to where they have that time for reflection. And so she overcame all of this, following this path upward, 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 and then she finally made it there. And the thing with this is she's not, it doesn't even appear like she's wearing shoes. I think that makes this even more impressive. Hi, Margaret. I miss you. I'm glad you're on here. Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. How are you doing? You will have to let me know. Please comment or send me a message. So with her lantern, I see the lantern down here. So it's right there, but then it looks like along her path, it could be the lessons that she learned from previously meditating and reflecting have built upon each other for her to reach this area. So it's not just one time of meditating and reflecting. This could be a culmination of various hermit moments to reach the top of that cliff for this beautiful clarity and insight and calmness. And below her, at the very base, there's water. So she's very much not making contact with the water, which is like emotions. She's on solid ground, and she's just getting that insight, which again can be used to help others. And let's see here. Oh my gosh, I am so glad you're here too, Margaret. And I think you're so awesome too. Your spirit always uplifts me. Oh my gosh, it's been forever since we've done coffee. We'll have to get together with the girls and have coffee soon. And I see my mom's on here. Hi, Mom. I love you and Belle, and I hope you guys are having a good day today. So here's another one. And this is, again, it's a departure from the typical Rider-Waite-Smith. So it shows this owl, and he looks kind of mad, but I guess owls naturally look that way. And it's like he's looking off to his left, and he is sitting upon this branch, and there looks like there's gears. So it's like a very big steampunk like vibe, if anything. And it looks like there's like this metal tight construction underneath the tree. So if you knew nothing about the hermit, you wouldn't kind of pick up on the same vibe. I mean, I love the picture of the owl, don't get me wrong. And owls are known as being wise little beings, right? They're very clever and wise. But that's why it's so crucial to get a deck based on Rider-Waite-Smith, because it's going to help people, especially when they're new to tarot, learn. But that's really all I get from this card would be the wisdom. You know, and I don't know, please comment if you guys see something different. Because it could be our little owl here. There's so much vegetation and overgrowth. It could be he's just tired. It could be fall or winter time. So it could be the hermit time that I reference a lot, that time of rest and reflection. This little guy might be actually taking part in that. Very neutral background, you know. But I love it. I love the art in that deck. And then I'm glad that I'm finishing up with this one. This is the crone. So we have Maiden Mother Crone. So here is our little crone, and she's a powerful woman, and there's a beauty there. In her age, there's a beauty. And her hair's flowing all around her, and she's holding up this snake. And it's almost like she's looking at it in such a way where she's kind of thinking upon it. But snakes are very symbolic of change and transformation. So our Fool has transformed so many ways on this journey. So when you think of a snake and how every so often, like a little sock, the skin, the outer skin comes off. That's what we do as human beings. We evolve on our journey, and we're not going to be who we were a year ago or 5 years ago. We're in a different place with a different mindset. So our crone has had so many life experiences, and she's evolved. And I think it's one of those things where she may even be looking at the snake and kind of like the spirit, like a spirit animal. Like she's reflecting, wow, everything the snake has went through just to get this big. Look how big the snake is. To get to that size, to survive in the worst conditions and be able to eat and persevere and grow and not be killed by other humans. Like it has seen so much in life. It's there's this reverence there. And the snake, I mean, he's kind of like looking up at the sky, but her hair kind of reminds me of a snake too. Kind of like Medusa vibes, you know. Again, I love this card so much. And as far as the rest of the picture goes, there's no lantern or star. But I still think that you can get some good meaning from it. So, yeah, so it's just, again, it's artistic liberties that they take when they make these decks. And so, yeah, so that's our Hermit, guys. If you have anything that I didn't say that when you think of the Hermit, feel free to add it to the comments. And there he is. He's just such a, and it's important. Like every day, you guys should be getting in just a little bit of hermit time. Just carving out a little bit of time every day to rest and reflect. It's good for your mental health, you know, because if we don't take care of our mental health, it becomes our, you know, our physical health. Unfortunately, it shows. And so for tomorrow, since I'll be doing the go lives with our weekly tarot reading and our oracle readings, I won't do a tarot teaching moment tomorrow, but since I'll be doing those, and I'll probably end up doing those, I'll keep the same time. I'll just hop on again at 8 p.m. to do them. Well, I love all of you guys so much. You all mean so much to me. I value you so much, especially my mom. She brought me into the world. I wouldn't be here without my mother. Oh, and Margaret, you love the Hermit card. Yeah, me too. I've always felt an affinity to that one as well. And then, yes, the importance of taking solitude to recharge. I mean, it's like it's priceless, you know, and you don't have to buy a bunch of stuff. Like, yeah, it's cool to set your space up and everything. All you need is just peace and quiet and just to be alone, and get you, I recommend journaling. Get you a little cheap notebook and write out what you're thinking, and then make time to meet with your friends and, you know, your family and talk to them, you know. All right, guys. Well, I hope you have a good evening. It's been so good seeing you on here tonight. It's made my heart happy. And if you know of anybody who needs a reading, or if you ever need a reading, feel free to message me or find me on my website. And oh, as far as the candles, so I'm now an LLC, so I'm official in the state of Missouri. My business is legit, but I'm waiting on my, I got to submit my tax forms, and that'll be about 2 to 3 weeks. Once that goes through, I can like sell things on my website and be straight up and legal about it. So once that's squared away, I'm going to start selling my homemade candles on my website too. But for the people I meet for coffee, if you guys ever want to meet, you know I'll bring you candles. You know I would. All right. Bye, guys. Good night.